Speaking of climate change, a 7-hour climate change town hall last night, hosted by CNN, gave 10 presidential candidates the opportunity to show where they stand. So I want to bring in our Rick Klein in our D.C. bureau. Rick, it's pretty remarkable that there's even focus on this for this long. So what were your major takeaways?
This issue has gone mainstream in the Democratic primary. It was striking to see how many areas that the candidates agreed with each other. They're racing to spend trillions of dollars to combat climate change. There's no question about the cause or the need for massive federal intervention to try to turn it around, in their view. That is striking also because it puts them so squarely at odds with President Trump, whose campaign continues to raise money off of plastic straws, among other things. The president is an avowed skeptic of climate change. There is no skepticism inside the Democratic Party. The disagreements really are just on how far you go and how much you spend to do something about it.
All right. So was there anyone that seemed like, their plan was the one that people were most attracted to?
I don't think there's any way to scientifically judge based on that. I think it's telling that Jay Inslee, who put his whole campaign on climate change, got shout-outs from basically all of the candidates. And a number of candidates, Elizabeth Warren, Kamala Harris, Pete Buttigieg, they all had plans teed up and ready to go tied to this last night, knowing that it's an issue that is likely to get covered in the Democratic debate on ABC next week.
All right, and I can't leave you before we talk about Joe Biden on Colbert last night. Let's take a listen to what the former VP had to say about all of his gaffes.
In the last few weeks, you've confused New Hampshire for Vermont, said Bobby Kennedy and MLK were assassinated in the late 70s, assured us I'm not going nuts. Follow-up question, are you going nuts?
Look, the reason I came on the Jimmy Kimmel Show is because I'm not. Any gaffe that I have made, and I've made gaffes like every politician I know has, have been not about a substantive issue, been about other. I'm trying to talk about what other people have done. I don't get wrong things like, there is, we should lock kids up in cages at the border.
So, Rick, was Biden's defense enough? Will this matter to his voters, all of these gaffes?
Humor helps, and I think poking fun at himself with that line is probably the most effective way that he can deal with it as a candidate, beyond just going out there and doing it. Look, it hasn't mattered so far to people that support Joe Biden. Anecdotally, as well as in polling, his support is basically where it's been from the start. The question rests with voters whether they believe the explanations or just frankly don't care and believe in the more broad explanation the vice president has given, that the details really don't matter nearly as much as how you're communicating, what your policies are, and what's in your heart.
All right, Rick Klein in our D.C. bureau. And of course, if you guys want to see all of these presidential candidates, you can on the debate coming up next week on September 12th in Houston.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.